is if we have so much information that our body's rejecting all of it, no good diet, no perfect amount of food, no perfect supplement protocol, no kick-ass prescription or exercise program, or even a good yoga class will work until your body's in a state of rest and digest and parasympathetic. The people that you have seen take a journey in Yoga Nidra, what are some of the things that you hear the most in terms of like the benefits after they've been practicing it for a while?
There's mixed reviews. I mean, everybody's going to have their experience. I mean, my teacher, Dr. Mark Halpern, Dr. Shiva, he literally cured himself back to health for an autoimmune disease where he was bedridden for months.
Wake up, warriors. I should make a song that's called Wake Up Warriors. What's up? I've got Diane Kaiser here and Christy Curtis coming to talk to you guys about how to reduce stress and find your bliss again. So the purpose of this video today is to introduce you guys to this awesome woman over here. I'm not sure where the camera is whenever it's in recording. And to help you guys understand that there is choice, that you can step into your sovereignty and reclaim your spirit and your soul again by way of reducing stress. So today we're going to have a conversation about what this new up and coming super trendy thing is called Yoga Nidra. It's an amazing new way to practice. And I know so many of you are allergic to the word meditation. So Christy, what happens when people around you and you say, "Oh, I'm a meditation expert"? What do people's faces do?
Usually they want to be like, "Oh, I really need that, but I can't do it."
Yeah.
So there's an automatic disconnect of something that's accessible that we're sometimes just don't know how to access within us that we actually can. And it doesn't have to be daunting. It doesn't mean sitting on a pillow for 20 hours, days on end. It's just a part of who we are. It's part of our natural well-being and essence. And there's many ways to tap into it. And Yoga Nidra is just one option in terms of just truly deep conscious healing relaxation.
Yeah. I mean, doesn't that sound like what we all need as we go to get a massage to relax? We drink alcohol sometimes just to relax. We try to sleep to relax. And maybe some of us are hoping that we had a sex drive so that we could relax too, because after lovemaking, there's relaxation. So many of us are looking for these outlets to just chill out, but we don't know where to find them because we're doing all these things, right? And Christy, if you could describe the main stressor that we have today inside of our body, and it starts with a P, right? What is this word that Yoga Nidra is able to offer us?
Yeah, I think in terms of our body system, meaning our parasympathetic system, This is what's ignited because the body is allowed to go into a deeper place of rest and digest. And so with Nidra, Yoga Nidra, we want to just say yes to rest. So kind of what happens, just to break it down for you, Dia, and those watching, it's yoga means union, yoke, bring together. And Nidra is sleep. So sometimes this practice is known as the sleep of the yogi, if you will. But with this, instead of it actually being sleep, a sleep state, the body goes there, which taps into our parasympathetic nervous system. But it's also a practice to kind of awaken ourselves up to our truest nature. And that's where kind of the zhuzh begins of like, what is this rest and digest body when I am so familiar living in fight, flight, freeze in in our sympathetic nervous system, which is part of our being. And we need it to help, obviously protect ourselves from threat. We need that for body function, etc. But really, when we just live in that place, we forget what it's like to live in our bodies and we live in our heads. And right now our thoughts are our main stressors and emotions. And Yoga Nidra is a practice just to not necessarily let all of that go, but find a way to allow the body to get into a still conscious state to help release some of the excess buildup that has a physiological effect on our internal organs and our cells. Because every experience that we take in, whether it be a thought, a memory, an interaction, an encounter, good or bad, it's lodged into our body system. And with Yoga Nidra, as we know, yoga, the yoga practice, energy is everywhere. We don't necessarily see it. Some people get to see it, but it's not seen to the human eye. It's a felt sense. And so with Yoga Nidra, it allows, kind of think of it like the energy is traveling, through the body. And this energy goes through all the nadis, the channels, over 72,000 of them. But all of this energy is also stored in our cells. And so when those cells are impacted, whether positively or negatively, that it doesn't necessarily get digested. And so with Yoga Nidra, going back again, this parasympathetic nervous system, we allow the body to be in a place of what it needs to truly rest. So sometimes the undigested experiences, thoughts, things that create that turmoil and disease in the body and mind might just start to bubble and surface, which is going to awaken us up a little bit greater to, what do I really need to hear for myself?
Right.
What is it that where is my focus? Where is my heart? Where is my mind? What am I doing?
Yeah.
Not in a way that's it's going to put us back to sleep, that we're just going to put the covers over our head, but to be like, okay, there's something else inside of me that I can work with in terms of consciously creating, just coming into life with a new, kind of like a newer, I don't say a newer version of ourselves, but just returning to who we are at our essence.
Yeah. It's the exfoliating of what we're not, so that we can bubble up the person who we really have been sent here to be. And I think that's the most powerful part of Nidra is, and just a little background story, you guys, both Christy and myself have been teaching yoga for, I would say, a decade. For me, I've been practicing yoga for 20 years. You've been practicing yoga for about the same amount of time, 20 years. So we've both been on a spiritual path for a very long time. And some people are like, oh, well, gosh, that's such a heavy thing. And actually, the things that we need the most are the things that we typically tend to fear the most. And what we resist persists. So it's like, oh, I'm not good at that meditation thing, just like you said. And it's like, what we actually need the most are the things that are calling us, that we are saying that we're not good at. And it's not about that. We're not supposed to be good at anything. And so that's that whole drive to perfection. That is what, when you step into this space of unknowing and being okay that you don't know, you actually will start to find your knowing again. And that's the whole, like, it's on the other end of surrendering to not knowing, where you begin to finally know, and are reintroduced to your wisdom again. And what I would say, just to backtrack on why I think this is so important, why I'm bringing this into our community of females who are just fat, fatigued, and frustrated. That's the number 3 complaints I hear from women who come to me. They're like, I am fat, I am fatigued, and I'm frustrated. And I have been on a path to try to figure out how to undo these things for a long time. And so women come to me and they are taking 10 plus different types of supplements. They're taking medications. And for some women, they've tried lots of different diets, lots of different exercises, lots of different, all of these things, and nothing seems to be working. In fact, their bodies start to reject, and the things that they think are working, and maybe work for a little bit of time, maybe they're 10% better, but then all of a sudden nothing's working anymore. They're not absorbing their food anymore. The supplements aren't working. The medications are making them sicker. And they're like, well, now what? So if we're in a state of constantly rejecting everything, even if it's good stuff, our body's in this state of what's called sympathetic dominance. And what that means is our body's like, no, I'm too stressed out. No more information. If like a cup is like this, and you can't really see through it, but you can see my cup is pretty full here, right? So it's like, oh, it's too full. And I'm sitting right next to a volcano in Costa Rica. So as we know, volcanoes will explode and erupt when it's ready to blow, when it's just too heated inside. So think about your body the same. Is if we have so much information that our body's rejecting all of it, no good diet, no perfect amount of food, no perfect supplement protocol, no kick-ass prescription or exercise program, or even a good yoga class will work until your body's in a state of rest and digest and parasympathetic. So Christy, how does Yoga Nidra work? Like if I went to one of your classes and I was like, Christy, I'm just overwhelmed. There's too much stuff going on. I've got too much literally on my plate. I just want to chill out. What does this type of practice look like?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question, just to hopefully dispel any myths or misnomers that might be associated, but it's not a sweaty, 90-minute hot moving yoga class. This is the yoga essence of it, it is a place to rest, and it's a practice that's done lying down. You can do this in your bed, on the floor. It is so accessible, and Yoga Nidra can never hurt you. It is something that you allow yourself to be. It's a part of us that we already are. So it's lying down on your back, and you get as comfortable as you humanly possibly can be. When I guide, I kind of have people, literally, you're going to get your head pillow and place it behind the back of your head. You want comfort, you want warmth. Maybe a blanket wrapped around your feet and your extremities. Maybe even a blanket placed over your front chest for a little bit of weightedness, to really feel grounded. Like, what is this like to
Grounded.
come back into living into my body? And so in the practice, we lie down, and it's kind of imagine being guided. It's because it's a guided meditation, if you will. And it's more of a systematic journey that you will invite yourself to go into, where there's different points of the body that you direct your attention. And with that directing attention, you just notice what's here. And through the guidance of the practice, you're asked to release, to let go, and just going a little bit deeper and deeper into that place of relaxation, and noticing what shows up without reacting.
Yes.
And inviting yourself to be still, because stillness, again, is difficult. So a lot of things for people, it's a practice that it's not like a one and done.
Right.
For the one and done.
Yeah.
You want it quick, dirty, easy. Give me, and it's a matter of, this is a practice that we do. And I've been practicing it very, very, very regularly. And it's transformational for your mind, your body, and your heart. And so that's kind of what happens. And many times people, they do fall asleep, but then you wake up and you come back to right where the journey left off. But what's really special about Yoga Nidra is this thing that's known as a sankalpa, and it's known as an intention. And we set this intention to help create a little bit more deeper inner guidance, where we call out this inner knowing, and where the body and the mind are in a place that we can actually, with all the other flutter, with all the other excess put aside, we actually get to listen. What is my heart calling? What is my heart desire? And it's not to say that we're going to have these, revelations, and who is to say?
Mm-hmm.
Is that so? I don't know, but we can't go into this experience because it is an experience. We just witness what's happening. There might be some things that have just not been heard in a very long time, because we've been so busy doing instead of allowing this being. So in Yoga Nidra, it's a matter of really becoming the conscious healer, and where we have this state of oneness within us. And it's a return home to our well-being, in a way that you show up whenever you choose to do this practice. You lay down and you listen, and you allow, and you witness. Instead of trying to fix it and make it better and different, you just witness it. And
I like that.
Stay curious.
I love the way that you word it.
Yeah. Like, we have the power to, again, so the body's asleep, and just this real big piece is the body's asleep, yet the mind is awake. And so when we're awake and alert, we're still waking up. And that's going to allow us to go a little bit deeper into that subconscious mind. Because the body, and we're getting deep into the brainwave states of similar to meditation. But because we create the sankalpa, it plants that seed of intention, of greater awareness, where we can, again, awaken ourselves back up to that truest nature, whatever that might be, for wherever you are in your life.
Yeah.
And
so
this is something that you practice, just like anything, just like going to the gym, strengthen muscles, or cardio, or whatever it might be, playing a new instrument, learning a new language. It's all a practice. And so when we can give ourselves that, it's, who's to say what's going to happen? But in the end, the results are for you to be known and ultimately felt and experienced.
Yeah, it's a surrendering of control. It's, I love one of the quotes that is, I think it was Brene Brown that said it, and I love her work. If you guys have fear of intimacy, or fear of being authentic, or fear of vulnerability, she's got some really great work, and that you can bring it to Yoga Nidra and just experience it and witness it, rather than judging it and hence judging yourself. That's where judgment comes from, is the expectation to be something that we think we're supposed to be, and then trying to control the thinking as it arises. And then that's when we say, I'm not good at meditation because I think, then I control the thoughts, or I try to control the thoughts. And then I check myself out and I'm not even listening to the yoga teacher, which is really our own inner voice. The yoga teacher, as in Christy in this situation, what Yoga Nidra is all about is that learning to listen to your own voice through the guide, and being okay and surrendered and vulnerable enough to get into that space. And so if you're doing anything for expectations versus the experience, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. If you're doing, and this is where the Brene Brown quote comes in, is if you're doing anything for the result versus for the experience, then you're never in control, and you're going to constantly fail, and you're going to constantly be hard on yourself and judge yourself against it because you're expecting this result, instead of just saying, you know what, I'm not going to judge any of it. I'm just going to do this for the experience, and I'm not going to judge the thinking as it comes by. You'll feel the judging of the thinking, but then that's what this whole Yoga Nidra experience is about, is learning to just, like clouds go by, you learn to just go, oh, that's another cloud. It's a thought that I was maybe taught to think. And so imagine being free of the judgment of your own thinking. Imagine being free from the judge. And what I mean by free is not, you're never going to not have these thoughts, but it's what Christy's saying. It's the surrendering to them and realizing, like, I could just laugh at that thought. Oh, where did I learn that one? It doesn't matter. And you just let it pass. And then you're able to be present, because what is the one thing that where none of us really are today? I'm at a dinner with you, Christy, and here I am, just looking at my phone. Like, no, being present is our greatest gift. Being able to give someone the gift of our soul, of our presence, of our heart. But yet this is our disconnect. This is how we protect our vulnerability, is having this phone and like distracting self. So how can you be more present? This is the number one question in 2018. It's not about diets. It's about spirit. It's about giving the gift of this moment. Instead of counting calories and tracking points, we're counting memories and counting breaths, because we're being fully present. So Christy, I love how this whole thing is about strengthening the spirit and the muscles of the soul. So what kind of, like, when you say there's this intention, so like if you could think about women hormones and the side effects of women hormonal imbalances, if you can give us an example of what, maybe even real life scenarios of clients that you've had that bring an intention, the Sankalpa, and how walking through Yoga Nidra and creating that intention can actually manifest in their life, and some potentially miracles, as one would describe it. Like, I can't believe it. I actually got from here to here, and it wasn't about a diet. It wasn't about exercise. It was actually about calming down and just setting the intention and being present with it.
Yeah. I know. I think that's a great question, because what happens, again, when you're planning this Sankalpa in the subconscious mind, it's, you get to do this, as I mentioned before, it's this deep inner listening. And what is it that I want and need? And so many times, just use this example, like, I want to lose weight. Okay, what is this all about? Or I want to be fit and look healthy. All right, but Yoga Nidra allows the practitioner to look deeper. Is this need to be physically fit, healthy? Is it a need for more self-love? Is it a need for more physical well-being or for freedom? And so when the body's in this state of place, we get to hear that, because unless we get caught up in the drama, but when we can come back and be like, what is this facade of being fit and healthy and fitting into a certain size jeans or reading a certain number on the scale? Is that really a measurement of my self-worth and the love I'm giving to myself? And so when we can see ourselves as, instead of saying, I want to be fit and losing weight, let's look at what's the mask over that. Maybe for the Sankalpa it'd be, I am compassion in itself. I am compassion. I'm a compassionate being for myself and all beings. So the Sankalpa is stated in a very positive, almost like a positive affirmation, but positive present tense. And it's something, again, that we already are. We just forget.
How do we forget? How do we get so lost?
Let's look at our lives. let's look at, I mean, who's to say? Everyone's going to have a story.
Yeah.
A story.
Yeah.
A story.
Yeah. I mean, so many stories we carry around about who we are based on how other people see us or the things that they've projected onto us that have been their insecurities. And then all of a sudden we feel like we carry around this story that some of us don't even realize that I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't have enough energy for that. I don't have the genes for it. And it's other people's limitations that have become our own stories and that we carry in our DNA that at a deep, like DNA level, this gets into it. This rewrites our brain, our cells, Christy. What's a physiological, I mean, there's probably got to be studies on this stuff too, because it's becoming, and you know, your background and your schooling to become Yoga Nidra certified and become a mindful master, a mindset master. What is your designation that it's called? You're studying.
Just for clarification, it's called, I'm on a teacher pathway for known as mindfulness-based stress reduction. Mm-hmm. And this is a certified program through the Center of Mindfulness, UMass, University of Massachusetts Center for Mindfulness, known in their medicine healthcare integrative health program. And so I'm on this pathway of you live this life of what mindfulness is. It allows a space to operate, and that's a method known as mindfulness meditation. However, being certified by California College of Ayurveda and Yoga Nidra with my yoga teaching background, this is a separate place where you can take those deeper awarenesses. And again, but it all comes back to the cellular structure and the physiology of the body. What happens when we're stressed?
Yeah.
This is what happens when we're stressed. And the moment that, science doesn't lie. Science is the proof. And when they can see gray matter in the brain increasing size and witness the non-reactivity of people and noticing it create patterns and habits and the change because of just the practice of going inward.
Yeah.
And so with, again, Yoga Nidra, I just want to be very clear, it is a form, a style of meditation where we can, again, go in deeper to relaxing the cells because the body is finally at rest. We can't go and jump in the car and this is not a practice to do while you're driving, please. Don't, that's not what you do, but you want to be at a place of conscious rest.
Like all the time.
Allow the body. Yeah.
Like we can
finally listen to the heart.
So we can be not a zombie anymore and actually have rest while we're awake.
Yes. You awaken. You wake up. We wake up to ourselves.
Wake up, warrior. And that's about.
Yeah. Because sometimes, you know what, Diane, I'll be honest. You know what? I don't always like what I see. Whether it be physically, but sometimes inside. There's some gnarly stuff we all have as human beings that we carry. They're either learned behaviors or belief systems, but something just might feel a little bit off. And that's okay. Doesn't mean it's bad.
No.
Doesn't mean we're awful.
No.
But we get caught in that. And so this is just another way to practice the release.
Yeah.
And a practice, honestly, it's a true practice of just self-compassion. What it means to slow down. What it means to just another way to take, we all have these different avenues on paths that we think we should follow. Just another way just to reconnect to another part of our human beingism.
So I'm going to role play. I want to role play with you because I can hear this right now in women. And that's why I just regrouped, right? I just regrouped. Is I hear people saying this already in their mind. Well, this all sounds really good, but I don't have time to slow down, Christy. But I'm really tired, but I'm really exhausted all day, but I wake up and I have coffee 3 times throughout the day. I don't have time to calm down and slow down, Christy. Why would I do this?
Right. And that's a great question. Why wouldn't you? I mean, if you know that we're in a frazzled state, already waking up, knowing that what does it mean to set the clock 30 minutes before? The practice in itself, diligent practice, it's be up to 30 minutes. You can practice this. I do it because what happens to the body, we go into it's equivalent to almost 4 hours of REM sleep. So again, yogic sleep is the sleep of the yogi where I use it in the afternoon. I did it today before our call. you know, and you can just access it at any time. But whatever works for you.
Like 10 minutes long, 20 minutes? Is there a certain...
Yeah, I mean, generally a traditional practice in my trainings, it's about 45 minutes, but there's versions where you, again, once people start again, take the practice and you do the guided journey for yourself. Every body is different. There's no specific limit. It's a science experiment in itself, knowing that it's an experience and not a direct automatic resulted outcome, because each time is different. Each time is a new moment.
Yeah.
And when we can give ourselves that permission to again, think about if we bottled up all the energy and time and the words we say, I don't have time, I have too much going on. All of that just might amount to the ability to be still for 20 minutes and breathe. But knowing that you're guided, my voice is there to guide you through this system, again, Yoga Nidra dates back to the ancient yogis.
Yeah.
It's something that's just resurfacing back in this new age. Ron Miller calls it, John Miller calls it eye rest. Is another form of this deep conscious relaxation.
Yeah.
This is used in for those at war and our veterans, our armed services, PTSD.
Wow.
Those of us with habits and patterns that are, even some addiction centers. So there's a lot of different names for this, and I don't want the yoga concept to scare people away, but I think in the essence for me, it's just reawakening this divine consciousness through our energy bodies and listening to that, because some of us, we don't know, or we're afraid to know, and that's okay.
Christy, if the people that you have seen take a journey in Yoga Nidra, what are some of the things that you hear the most in terms of like the benefits after they've been practicing it for a while?
Yeah, I think immediate benefits are, you kind of wake up, and it's, if you've ever taken a yoga class and you wake out of Shavasana, like, oh my gosh, wow, like the body, like I can't even think about racing out to my car, because I'm coming out of a deep conscious. It's a deep, the body acts as if it's at sleep, yet the mind is awake.
Yeah.
And so there's mixed reviews. I mean, everybody's going to have their experience. I mean, my teacher, Dr. Mark Halpern, Dr. Shiva, he literally cured himself back to health for an autoimmune disease where he was bedridden for months and months on end, and found a teacher and allowed this practice to be practiced diligently, daily. And he willed himself back to health.
Wow.
Because he wasn't able to even walk.
How long
So every story is different. And so I can't say particularly this happened, because and it may not be for everybody. Who's to say?
Right.
But if we find ourselves at a place of something's got to be different, and meditation, sitting on a cushion is too hard. Mindfulness meditation, whatever it is, whatever might be too much. I'm not saying you have to sign yourself up and go sit in a monastery or go to an ashram. No, there's all different forms of everything. There's different forms to eat a diet. There's different forms to meditate, different forms, ways to lift weights and get fit and healthy, or, go shopping, drive your car. There's different ways for everything, but what's your way? And this just might be something to throw in the arsenal of trials. And so, but ultimately it's a place where we heal, and whatever that looks like for people, we just need more of it for ourselves, for the world, for society. If we think big picture, I mean, we're a speck, not even. I mean, we're just, the grand universe of schemes, of the scheme of the universe. We're dust, we're energy, all of it is. So in the end, we come back down and we are this interconnected being in this web of all of us. So if we get to watch this through the intranet, the intraweb, this still is, we're connected. And then this just draws us back to our sense of connection, so that we can go back to the world and be connected. And look people in the eye and have a human, what is it to be human? Because we're a special species. There's nothing else like us for a reason.
We're aliens. We're really cool aliens. However, we have yet to understand, for many of us, what our purpose is. That's one of the number one things that when I work with women and they come to me to remodel their life, it's their hormones, but it's really their spirit in disguise. It's like, what are you here for? Oh, I want more energy. And in the end, what they discover is it wasn't more energy that they were after. It was discovering their purpose and their passion. And then when you have the energy, you're able to plug into what it is that you're here for. And it's like, I think about when that visual that you just gave me was, there's plugs that we could plug into the wall, but for the majority of us, we already have, everything's plugged in, and no one can plug into us, and we can't connect to other people when everything's already plugged in and we're already tapped out and filled up. And for me, when I do practice Yoga Nidra, it's a clearing. And so the cup is full, then it's able to be down again, and I'm able to fill it back up. There's more information I can take in. I can be more. We can be more for each other, for ourselves. And from a hormonal perspective, parasympathetic is my main focus, getting women into that chill out state so that we can, like Christy said, we can be more present. And if we're in more of that parasympathetic state, it's much easier for everything to work. It's much easier for us to burn fat. It's much easier for us to reverse disease. The fastest #1 growing disease right now in America is autoimmune disease. And that simply means your body is internally attacking your own parts by accident. And that's because of too much information, toxins, and toxic thoughts. So if we're able to chill out and slow down the toxic thoughts with Yoga Nidra, at the same time, you're not adding more toxins into your life with a healthy, clean diet. And at the same time, cleaning out the stuff of years and years of hundreds of thousands of negative artificial chemicals that we've been exposed to. If we can put together all three of those as a trilogy, you can become a new human. You can become something that you've only envisioned in your mind. And that's what I love about that Sankalpa, is that we can create the intention for our life and bring that forward. And I'll tell you, last night, Christy, the very first video that you created for us for this new program that we're launching, and that may have launched by the time you guys are watching this video, I listened to your video last night and I set an intention. And I woke up this morning and I purged a lot of my awareness of the things that have been holding me back. The very next call after I had that release, I am enlisted and empowered and enrolled another woman into her new possibility. But I had to step out of my own way so that I could stand for another human being. How cool is that? Yeah. So
special.
If we are living this life and making it all about us and our stressors, we cannot live any purpose, and we're lost. So I feel like the light, the real yoga light, in order to find our soul again, is Yoga Nidra. And no, it's not going to help you, sweat and burn calories. Well, maybe it'll make you sweat. I mean, your mindset may take you places. But the very first time I did a Yoga Nidra class with Christy, I just didn't want to move. I was like, this is like being in a cloud of peace that I created myself, that I allowed my teacher, Christy, to bring me there. She guided me there. We can't get there on our own. It's the guide, right, Christy? Like, we have to have somebody who walks us there.
Yeah, I think in the end, the practice itself is a traditional practice that's passed down, just like yoga is, from student to teacher. But through the trainings of the practice, it's definitely something that's embodied. I think that's very easy to go ahead and just read a script off a piece of paper, but it's a felt sense of having an experience to be able to teach it with anything in life. And so for that reason alone, there's, going through our program here, it's going to be, there's going to be the guided recordings, and you play it at any time you need. But it's specifically for you, designed specifically for the women who sign up in this program. And your
I like that, shine up.
Yours to create. And it's just a really, it's with you forever.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the seed. It's that seed. It's like we're a society that expects everything right now. And it's more about seed planting. And those who cultivate the seeds and fertilize the seeds are going to be the ones that see the seeds grow into a plant the next season. It's not super quick, but we never know, like, oh my God, 10 years ago I planted that seed and here it is. But it's staying committed to your intention and being flexible with it too, because sometimes our intentions are for the wrong reasons. And maybe we realize that, oh, that that really wasn't something I wanted. That was something that someone else wanted. And so it's all a path, and it's all a journey, and it's all beautiful. And there's no failure. There's just lessons. And I love what Yoga Nidra has done for me. And what this program is all about, you guys, is that Christy every week is going to guide us through a different part of our body, the chakras that need some balancing, these energetic centers where we're carrying so much trauma. Whatever we've suppressed and never addressed gets stored and creates depression, and depression of the metabolism where we can't lose weight, depression of the mind where we're depressed or frustrated, and depression of all of our systems that back things up that could create, literal toxin constipation where we can't poop, or mental constipation where we can't think straight, or spiritual constipation where we just don't know what our life purpose is. So to get those moving along is to allow your body to rest, digest, distress, release, and let go. And once we've let go, the new things can come in. That could be a new relationship. That could be a new job. That could be a new body. That could be a new life. But we've got to let go first. And that's what I am so grateful to announce and bring to all of you with Yoga Nidra, and Christy specifically. Christy is a gem. She's this magical, big, huge meteor piece of dust that landed on America. It said,
too kind.
But it's the truth. It's the truth. Is Yoga Nidra number one. You guys practice Yoga Nidra. Follow Christy and follow this journey. And if you're ready to bring everything together, mind, body, spirit, soul food, mind food, and physical body food, this is the place to do it. This is the place where the trilogy exists, where it's not just a diet. It's not just yoga. It's not just exercise. It's not just supplements. It's all three. The trilogy comes together so that you can listen to your intuition, follow that, and the rest just takes care of itself. So, Christy, thank you so much, sister. From my heart to yours, I really appreciate you standing for all of us through this practice and committing your life to the mindset of all of this, to the practice, and to not perfect. This is not a yoga perfect. It's a yoga practice. So what would you say is the one thing that you've learned through all of this that you'd like to share? Maybe one thing, one final closing thought.
In terms of just in Nidra or through it all?
Yeah.
I think just trusting that it's okay not to know.
Yeah.
That it's okay to surrender and allow. And I think for me, Yoga Nidra has taught me just that, on how to, because stillness is tough.
Mm-hmm.
And even as a mindfulness meditation facilitator and a Yoga Nidra guide, it's something that I know that I need the most, just so I can return home.
Yeah.
Just like anybody else. And so I think that this is just another practice that reawakens a part of the spirit. Absolutely. To allow me to live my life in a purposeful manner. Mm-hmm. And with that, surrounding myself, attracting those people in as well. Again, it's a matter of, just trusting. So I think in the end, to go back to your question, it's allowed me to be reminded it's okay not to know, and it's okay to rest. And ultimately, it's another way to just to be really kind to myself.
Coming from a woman who has been working 12-hour days for the last 2 decades and is recovering from work addiction, recovering from perfectionism, recovering from type A, it is very difficult to trade in control for consciousness. It's a different kind of responsibility. And ego will try to fight you the whole time. But that's what this is trading ego for excellence. And the excellence being the excellence of the not knowing. I don't know. It's okay. It's okay that I don't know. It's okay that you don't know. You don't have to know. And how cool is that? Yoga Nidra is a permission slip to just be, and to not have to do so much and fill our schedules up to feel important, and to say rest is okay. Rest is okay. In fact, here's my schedule, and I'm going to schedule in Yoga Nidra for 9:00 at night so that by 10 o'clock I am dreaming my dream life, and I wake up to a dream life, which does come with its downs. That's what life is about. I love this purpose. I love your passion. And I love the divorcing of perfectionism so that women can feel progress to something, knowing that it's not about being a certain way. It's just about existing and taking control back by surrendering control. That may mind blow a lot of people, but trust us, ladies. When you start to do this work, one day you'll go, whoa, now I get why I started this. There's a reason that this has been around for thousands of years. And there's a reason that it's coming back. And there's a reason that I brought Christy on. So if you trust this reason and you trust that this is what your body is craving, this is your nourishment. This is what your body is thirsty for. Your body is thirsting for the letting go of this all day and the squeezing of the butt cheeks when you're driving and the holding tightly to things. When you start to let go, your body can receive all the nutrients, all the hormones, all the vitamins, all the love. Whew. And just imagine your life on the other side of that. Awesome. Laughter, love, liberation. Yes. Love it. Thank you, Christy. Thank you again for being here with us today. Thank you for creating the amazing transformational experience that these women are about to receive. Once they say, I am worth it, and they take the journey, we're here for you all, ladies. So namaste. Thank you, sisters.
Namaste, thank you.
And we will see you on the other side of this. If you want more information about this, dianecager.com, you'll be able to see on there, work with me under the hormonal breakthrough section. From there, we can talk more about, hey, what is this all about? How is this going to help me? What do I need to know this for? And how can I finally ditch all of the short-term Band-Aid quick fix things that just aren't working for you anymore? It's time for you to find the trilogy. It's time for you to come home and for you to believe that you are worth it. Bye-bye, sisters. Bye for now.
Namaste.
Namaste.